Welcome to Talking Comics, where we are bagged, boarded, and pre-recorded. I'm Ryan.
I'm Sean.
Welcome back. We, like always, we have a lot to talk about today.
He ain't whistling Dixie, folks. Not today.
This one, there's a good chance it's going to run long.
Oh.
When we started doing this, we had the idea of going for about 45 minutes. We have gone past that quite a few times, but that's because, well, there's a lot of comic book stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
But today we are talking about, well, not something that everyone is going to be knowing about soon.
Oh, yeah.
Before it was just something the hardcore fans knew about. And, now, all right. We are talking about Captain America's Civil War.
Civil War. This could be a two-parter.
Yeah. There's a decent chance. So if the video just stops, that's because it's a two-parter.
That's a bathroom break for you people.
We just got back from watching it.
Yes.
Before we actually get started talking about it, Sean, what do you think?
I told you, because I saw it yesterday also.
Yeah.
I saw it before you. No. I told it could be the best comic book movie made ever. I mean, when we were waiting to go in, I gave you the top 5.
Yeah.
I said, and you guys can take it for what it was. Everybody's got their opinion. Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, Captain America, First Avenger, First Iron Man, X-Men.
Yeah. Right on.
They're all second now.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It was awesome. I loved every minute of it. I was a little worried going into it that it wouldn't quite meet my expectations. Mm-hmm. But it not only met, but blew them out of the water.
Right? I know, you always hear that it doesn't live up to the hype. I'm not going to live up to the hype.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's nothing like the books. It's like, oh, there'll be some people who be like, oh, you called it Civil War. Read the books. It's nothing like the books. Well, we've read the books.
Well,
why would you want to go see the movie? You know what I mean?
There is definitely, we're just going to be talking about the movie today. We're not going to really cover any comics other than like some key differences that we saw between, the book and the movie.
Oh, yeah. Spoilers all the way around, people.
If you haven't seen the movie yet, pause the video, save it for later. Go watch the movie, come back, and listen. Because we don't want to ruin it for you. So, here we go. Let's ruin it for him.
Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The movie was fucking so horrible. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my God.
No, this movie was awesome. We're doing a lot of jumping around. Trying not containing myself. I'm like a giddy little kid. It's my second time seeing it already.
Literally, there were scenes where okay. So I'm 22. Sean's old. There were scenes where both of us instantly became like 8-year-olds and like started jumping up and down in our seats, clapping our hands together.
You know what? I know. Yeah, you're joking and everything, but think about what I do for a living now. I surround myself with nothing but pretend, day in and day out. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm a middle-aged man. And I've seen a lot of stuff, read a lot of stuff, this, that, and everything else. I'm like Willem Dafoe in Platoon. I've seen it all. I got, necklace of ears around it. When a movie can take me back and reduce me into a crying little kid because I'm so happy because I'm seeing stuff that reverts me back to my childhood. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, you got my money. Yeah.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah. I bought 2 tickets. I only went once. No, I'm kidding.
I know. I'm going to see it again later this week.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it again. Like, this time it was all business. I was analyzing and enjoying, if I'm being honest. It wasn't just an analysis viewing.
See, that's what I do. I usually I go the first time and just kind of soak it all in.
Yeah.
And then second time I analyze. But man, I came home last night, just started,
You're like, we need to talk about this.
Yeah,
and this.
Little bullet points. Yeah, like the guy, keynote real quick. We said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 spoilers, but the guy that came into the shop the other day, he's like, hey, here's you guys' stuff. Who writes for you? I'm just like, what do you mean? Me. Look at my writings. Here's my notes. Falcon, Giant Man, Civil War. Compare it to Dark Knight. Marvel can do no wrong so far. There's the excellent writing, sir. So thank you for listening, and there you go, a little peek behind the curtain.
Every time you tell me that people come in and are like, man, you guys are so funny, I love your podcast, that it always brings a smile to my face, because my dream has always been to entertain people. Like, I'm always trying to crack jokes. I'm always trying to make people laugh. And, being able to do this is really awesome, especially that people are actually enjoying listening to us babble on for a half hour or more.
You made quite a few people laugh in the movie theater with your laughs. That was awesome. All right, enough about that. Where do you want to start? Beginning?
Let's start at the beginning. Talk about we briefly covered the concept of Civil War in one of our last podcasts.
Yeah.
But we'll just touch on it again, give people a fresh update.
First of all, it's just kind of, the people, no matter what you do, you're going to have detractors, like I said. So you're going to have people be like, oh, it's not Civil War like I read, blah, blah, blah. All right, it's Captain America 3.
Yeah.
Or you can even go one step further and say it's Avengers 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It kind of left off from, last Captain America, last Avengers, Age of Ultron. This movie does not hide the fact and takes full advantage of every other movie that's come before it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They do not let anything go to waste.
Mm-hmm.
So you literally have to see from Iron Man 1 on.
Yeah.
To understand a lot of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It starts out, they go back to 91.
Yeah.
The Winter Soldier program, Bucky this whole time. Well, it's been before 91, but 91 is a significant year.
Yeah. They pull him off ice to go out and do a mission.
Yeah.
And they give you this little, if you followed our instructions, you went and saw the movie. So
keywords.
He's essentially brainwashed.
Yeah.
They've turned him into
sleeper cell.
Yeah.
Like a sleeper cell. And there's trigger words that have to be said in a specific order to activate them.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool. I like that spy movie shit.
Well, if you caught it, remember at the end of Winter Soldier when S.H.I.E.L.D. fell and Hydra this and everything else, and Black Widow was sitting in front of Congress, and she's like, I'm just going to release all the files.
Yeah.
And like, you're going to release all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s files. Well, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s no more. So she released everything.
Uh-huh.
So it became public, and certain things fall into certain hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of them. A lot of Hydra's secrets.
Yeah. So, oh man, it's hard to put this movie into words. Like, harder than anything else I've talked about on here.
Dude, well, like I said, it's like Marvel, DC. As far as I'm concerned right now, Marvel can do no wrong.
Yeah.
I can't think of a bad movie. You can think of the worst Marvel movie. It's still better than, Marvel could shit, and I'd pay double just to bend down and smell it. It's just... So they even brought back, like, just little characters, Crossbones.
Yeah.
Okay, movie starts out, you got the new Avengers team.
Mm-hmm.
They're working a mission. Okay? This is after the Bucky flashback.
Yeah. They essentially go right as soon as Age of Ultron ends. This begins.
Yeah, they hit the ground running, and it's Crossbones from Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the Shield. He was the Shield agent, right?
The Shydra.
Yeah, the Shydra.
Dude, that in the elevator, the infamous Captain America elevator scene in Winter
that scene
Soldier.
was so cool.
And then he fought Falcon, and then that's when the building fell on him.
Yeah.
You know, when the helicarrier crushed in, and they carried him off, and he was all messed up, and he had that wicked smile at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He's back, new suit, badass.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And apparently, for the team's been tracking him for a little bit because he goes around and randomly steals weapons and bombs, and this time he's going after a biochemical weapon.
Yeah.
And he sells it to terrorists on the black market and everything. But that's what his cronies, his group, thinks. But really, what he personally is doing is trying to bait Captain America, get him to show up because he wants revenge.
Yeah.
This is it, folks. This movie, the theme for this movie is nothing but revenge. And Ryan and I will point this out every moment.
Every time the big revenge thing comes up, we'll make a verbal note.
It's revenge. That's the real villain in this movie, kids.
Yeah. Oh, man, this movie is so cool.
And, oh, man, how about the punching thing with his suit?
This hydraulic fist thing that he would unfold over his own fist.
Two of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he punches things, it basically he's trying to make himself as strong as Cap.
Yeah, he's going up against, Cap. So, yeah, he's going to do that. He's got the blades and everything.
Yeah.
Bombs. I mean, he already knows how to fight. So, they do that, going after, and what does he say to him? He remembered at the end of Winter Soldier, Bucky. He throws Bucky's name back, tells him the story. Cap automatically freezes.
Yeah. Because, his best friend from all of his childhood being brought up, and he's been looking for him. So he wants to get the information, but it's just a ruse, trying to trick him. And he
suicide bombs him.
Yeah, he has this he has a bomb strapped to him, to his gear. He hits the button, and just as he's about to kill himself and Cap, Scarlet Witch traps him in a bubble of psychic energy.
Her magic bubble.
And, she's trying to lift him up into the air to get him away from the civilians, and it takes a hard right and hits a building.
Kills a lot of people.
And you wouldn't guess what nation those people were from.
Oh, what? Do tell, Ryan.
What's the name of it? Wakanda?
Wakanda.
Yep, Black Panther's country.
Yes.
Ooh, man, this is where things get cool.
Did we mention spoilers? Yeah, Black Panther's in this movie that we're spoiling the shit out of right now.
If you didn't know that, well, you probably don't watch a lot of TV. Or you're like me and don't get ads on YouTube.
Yeah, but this movie, I mean, we just talked about that opening scene right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Comes in there now to go for the writing. These Russo brothers.
Oh, we did forget to mention something about the 1991 Winter Soldier. His mission is he has to go retrieve this package from a car. So he crashes this car, kills the people inside of it, takes the case back to his, commander, and that's where they end it and move on to the scene we were just talking about. All right, now let's get back into it.
Yeah, the writing. Yeah, that scene right there, that Winter Soldier scene, it's like the Onion visuals. They're going to peel back, because you'll see this scene a couple different times throughout the movie, and they peel back a layer each time. There's more to it. This movie, it plays like I was saying before, the 70s thrill, like a Tom Clancy novel.
Yeah.
Or a John Grisham, like a spy thriller. Same. They did Winter Soldier too. It was the same thing. It's like they Jason Bourned him up,
Yeah, that was really cool.
And it's even fun. I said Manchurian Candidate. Iron Man even references to Bucky as settle down, Manchurian Candidate. And I'm like, oh. But this movie, it did not feel like nobody was fighting just for the sake of fighting.
Yeah.
This movie,
everyone had a purpose.
Yeah, and it felt very earned, and it takes advantage of everything that came before it. And nobody stops fighting because moms have the same name, or a bigger threat comes along, or everything that everybody said and did, there was a reason for it.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, these guys.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier with the direction that the Russo brothers are taking this.
Yeah.
I'm truly impressed.
It's like an ensemble piece, but everybody is got the spotlight on them.
Yeah.
Everybody states their case, and you know the reason why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with it or don't, whether they agree with it or don't.
Mm-hmm.
This, I mean, you can take them out of the costumes and put just regular, guys. This movie still works.
Yeah.
It's,
so after after the accidental bombing of the building with Wakandans in it, Congress and all of the other members of the UN, they are working together to make a bill that makes it so that the Avengers are not a self-governed body. So that only once the UN has a big time meeting, they all have to decide together whether or not the Avengers will go to save the day somewhere.
Yeah, they're employees.
And so Stark, he's all guilt-tripped by...
Why?
Alright, so I really loved that scene so much.
Yeah.
Alright, so it shows this scene, and there's two people in there. One's lady playing a piano, and old guy comes in. It's the Stark family. And underneath a blanket on the couch is Tony Stark in like his 20s.
Yeah.
It was so trippy. It looked exactly like Robert Downey Jr. in his 20s.
I would say it was. They took that CG, everybody, if you've seen Ant-Man and if you've seen Winter Soldier, you'll know what we're talking about, because they did the CG effect for Haley Atwell, which made her look all old in Winter Soldier, and then in Ant-Man they made Michael Douglas look all young.
Yeah.
But this one, they took Robert Downey Jr. and they made him look like Robert Downey Jr. in Weird Science.
Yeah, it was really...
and it was a visual therapy that he was presenting.
Yeah, he was doing a
presentation for
MIT. And he had just invented these glasses that are supposed to help people deal with loss, and in his case it was the day his parents left and died. So it was him saying to them in the vision type thing, I love you guys.
Like virtual reality.
Yeah. It was a virtual reality type of thing, and it was him saying to them, I love you guys, before they left, instead of whatever he actually said.
Yeah, he never divulged that.
Yeah. Trying to, it's him saying he wishes the last words he said to his parents before their death were kind and loving. And it was an emotional scene.
It was, and what we come to
right in the heart.
Remember, we found out that he's making amends to himself and to others. I mean, Iron Man 3 talked about the post-traumatic stress from the Avengers. It's like, millions of people died. Mm-hmm. We were saving it. I almost died in space. I fell back to Earth. Yeah. I thought Hulk kissed me. He's dealing with all that, dealing with the fact that, as we find out, Pepper.
Yeah.
They split.
Yeah. At the end of this presentation, it says, and now to introduce CEO of Stark Industries, Pepper Potts.
Yeah, and she's a no-show.
Yeah. And
they fucked up the teleprompter.
Yeah. They explained it briefly shortly thereafter that because... So after Iron Man 3, he trashes all of his suits and agrees he's not going to be Iron Man anymore. He gets the arc reactor taken out of his chest. His heart's all fixed now. But then, Ultron happens and all this other stuff.
His fault.
All his fault. And
he admits it, though.
He admits that it's his fault, which is good. But Pepper's just like sick of it, and they're taking a break, split up. So after seeing that, he kind of has a little breakdown. He wants to get out of there, doesn't want to talk to anybody, and he runs into this lady. He's just standing out in the hallway that he's gonna basically escape from MIT out of.
Yeah, he's ducking out.
And they start talking, and she says, "Oh, that was very generous of you, yada yada."
Yeah, because what did he do?
Oh yeah,
he
basically donated like a couple $1 billion to MIT so that all of the students in MIT,
every student that had a
project,
they're paid for.
Yeah, they got all their funding.
Every student.
That scene was so awesome. Every scene in this movie was awesome.
Yeah, that's Stark though, man. I mean, you're gonna throw money at it.
If it ain't broke, throw money at it. That's his philosophy.
Which bites him in the ass because this woman.
Yeah. She was a grieving mother of one of the one of the Slovakia.
Her son, from which, if I remember right, was a graduate of that school, and he got offered a multi-million-dollar contract to come work for this high-profile company. They never give names or anything, but they give him a little, give time to think over. So he's going to go over, take some time,
go on a walkabout. Like
Tony Stark said, he's like, he didn't go to Vegas, he didn't go to New Orleans or he didn't go out gambling or partying like that's what he would have done.
Yeah.
He didn't go to Amsterdam or Paris, which sounds like fun. He went over to Sokovia, and built low-income housing for poverty-stricken people there. Sokovia, folks, is the one where they battled Ultron and people were dying, and he lifted the city. He got killed.
Yeah. And she...
Yeah,
she pulls out a photo and says, "This is my son. You murdered him."
Yep.
Like, very blatant. Not like he died. No, you murdered. Like, he actually put a gun to his head and pulled the trigger. That's how she made it seem.
And with all the stuff, see, that's what I love, because you watch the trailer or you even read the story. It's like, of all the characters, Tony Stark, arrogant, brash, got money. Why would he side with the government?
Yeah,
right there, he's going through the Pepper breakup. He's going through the post-traumatic stress. This dude, the character, and especially I've said it a million times, the way Robert Downey Jr. plays him, will change course in midstream.
Mm-hmm.
And then now this chick blindsides him with that. And gives him a photo. He's looking in the eyes of that, and he knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, even go back to Iron Man, the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
The minute he found out that all his weapons and everything
were being sold off to
and they were used in the wrong hands, he's like, cut it.
Yeah.
Done. In the second one, same thing. Dude wanted to partner with him. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. And then so he hires I want my bird. Whiplash.
Yeah.
That whole story.
And the third one.
Yeah.
Basically the same plot as the second one in a way.
Kind of, sort of, except
Mr. Stark, I'd like to work with you on this project.
More RDJ than in the suit, which is fine though. I loved it.
Yeah. So
after that scene, we enter Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah. That dickhead.
Oh, William Hurt. We haven't seen him since Hulk.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk movie. Ed Norton at the end. It's good to see. I like to see Tony Stark and Thunderbolt that one in.
They got that back and forth.
Yeah, but God, what an asshole.
Yeah.
Forget.
When they were like, what was he, Secretary of the State now or whatever?
He was General Ross chasing around the Hulk and the Incredible Hulk, and he had what's his name? Remember they basically became the Abomination.
Yeah.
And he's like he's hell bent on just getting Banner and that serum.
Yeah.
To the point where he
destroys,
fucks off his own daughter, destroys his relationship with his daughter,
destroys his career.
Yeah, everything, and all of a sudden now he shows up years later, Secretary of State.
Yeah, I was like, how did this guy get elected to?
It's the government, Ryan. You just fail upwards.
He he pulled a Monroe and was doing some stuff under the presidential desk.
He got a Lewinsky raise.
Oh Lord.
All right, enough politics.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, man. No, it was good to see Will Hurt back at the Thunderbolt Ross thing, man.
That was cool.
And he definitely, I mean, he's got with the, I mean, he wasn't doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's got Stark bent over a barrel just for the simple fact of his emotional. You know, Tony Stark's going through a lot.
Yeah.
And that answers the question right there. He's not just doing it because I'm going to be the bad guy this time. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Why he's siding with the government.
It's all explained, not like super blatantly, but if you have any like intuition at all, even in the slightest, you'll pick up on it.
Yeah.
Or you'll listen to the podcast and just accept our opinion as fact and law.
You know, yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't
see it for
don't
yourself.
take our words for. Don't just take our words for it. Just see it for yourself.
But then you got, here's another thing too, a beautiful, beautiful thing. Like there was a lot of these Russo brothers. I can't say enough of them.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, they could just lumberjack me for apparently for all I don't care. They know how to use the women right.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, we'll touch on this earlier, but like I love Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really care two shits about Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Except for she was looking good, but other than that, but she didn't. This time she does a lot, and we'll talk about that. But more importantly, we've seen Black Widow in the previous movies,
time and time again. This
one was like seeing her for the first time all over again because I got the feeling. I mean, she's the Black Widow.
Yeah.
She's siding with Tony. She's the first one to side with Tony.
Which is surprising.
Exactly. But then she turned around and then, again, spoilers, folks. We're spoiling the fuck out of this movie. I don't know if we mentioned it. Spoilers.
We're just going to call this one spoiler
Agent Carter, Peggy Carter she passed away.
Yeah.
Steve's at the funeral. Who shows up there and consoles him?
Agent 13.
And Black Widow at the end. She's like, no matter what she's saying, I mean, I'm sure maybe she's being true.
Yeah.
But she could hug you and stick a knife in your back.
No, I was
and that's a Black Widow. I mean, that's how you do the character. And she's awesome.
I was wondering about that because like each movie, she's like flirting with someone else. I'm like, oh, it hasn't even been a year since Age of Ultron, and you're already hitting on Stark.
That's
poor Bruce.
Hey, that's a.
She probably was wondering why his pants never ripped off when he hulked out.
The one time he can't Hulk out.
Anyways, she's basically, as she consoles him, she says, this is your last chance to get on board.
Yeah. I mean, this one, to me, like I said, I love Black Widow. I want to see her get her own movie. Mm-hmm. But we've seen her in tons of other movies as a supporting character.
Yeah.
This time around, I felt like I was seeing her for the first time. She wasn't predictable.
Yeah.
I didn't know
she was all over the place.
What was going to happen, what was coming with her. And I thought it was awesome. You know what I didn't see else coming?
What?
Vision in a sweater. And I mean, I told you before, on the other podcast, I saw a picture of Vision. He was in a sweater. But he's phasing.
Yeah.
Just like in the comics, he's phasing it out of shit. He was like, hey, we talked about this. Use the door, goddammit. He doesn't grasp that.
Sorry, the door was open. I thought it would be all right.
The Vision, man. He, once again, the voice of reason. Everybody's conscience.
That's how he is the voice of reason. But he took it seemed like he was taking a very subsidiary approach. Like he was pretty much following Stark's orders. Like
he's always been since he was created. Keep in mind, he's an AI.
Yeah. I just in the last movie, he seemed like he had his own thing going on. In the Age of Ultron, he was self-thinking and self-reliant, not gonna depend on being issued orders from someone. He was.
You think so?
It felt like he existed the way. the way they wanted Ultron to be.
Yeah.
Just for the betterment of mankind.
Right.
Doing its own thing.
He's like the robot Cap, and then Ultron's like the robot Hulk. But that's the thing. Maybe, in his shoes, the humans were like secondary, and he was dealing with his kind. So it's like, and he just happened to be, all right, yeah, we'll take this guy. He rocks Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
But man, I thought the vision was good.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Very downplayed in this one, which I thought was needed.
Yeah.
Like, everybody hit, I thought, across the board, everybody hit their beat when they're supposed to. Mm-hmm. Not too much of this, not too much of that, not too much of, obviously it's called Captain America 3, so we're going to,
Yeah, we saw a lot of Cap.
Yeah, a lot of,
Everyone got a pretty decent portion of limelight in this.
Oh.
And it was so awesome.
A lot of surprises, too.
Yeah.
Like, speaking of limelight, let's talk about Falcon and the Redbird.
Oh, yeah, that was so cool.
Oh.
So, Falcon in the original comics, he was, for lack of better terminology, he was the bird whisperer.
Yeah, because he literally had a live Falcon with him.
Yeah, in the comics, before he became the Falcon, it was said in his comic that he had the biggest pigeon coop in all of Harlem, where he grew up.
Eat it. Suck it, Mike Tyson.
Oh, goodness.
This one, I talked about it before because I saw little things.
Yeah.
They kind of upgraded and kind of made it a little bit more reality and made up bullshit.
21st century.
A drone.
Yeah.
That comes off that badass suit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it does a lot.
So cool.
It was. It's literally a new member of the Avengers.
He uses the drone to save
Black Widow.
Oh,
remember that?
And she's like, he's talking to her in the mic. Thank him. I'm not talking to the bird. Just thank the bird.
Pet him. Go ahead. Pet him.
Pet him. I busted a gut laughing so hard. Yeah, pet him. It's all right.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. Just little touches like that.
And that this isn't us like saying that this movie is a million times better than Batman v Superman or anything, but one aspect that I really enjoyed about this movie is that it didn't take itself too seriously. There was solid laughs in this movie.
Oh yeah, and they hit just right.
Oh yeah, right on the money, punchline perfectly placed every time.
But that's funny you mention that. Because you got people fighting, heroes fighting, and the bad guy, basically, it's kind of the same theme. Baron Zemo, Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But for the life of me, I could not figure out what the fuck Luthor's plan was. Didn't he? But Baron Zemo, loud and clear. I mean, I was sitting there in the theater, don't get me wrong. I was dialed into the comic one. I better see him in a pink or purple mask. Didn't need the mask, man. He was great. Oh, that dude was awesome. You want to talk about Baron Zemo?
You're going to have to educate me on Zemo. I don't know much.
Well, just in the movie, keeping it movie-wise.
All right. Yeah, he was a really great antagonist.
I still don't call him the antagonist. I still don't think he's a bad guy.
Vengeance
is the true bad guy in this movie. And here's why. Baron Zemo. Vengeance. Take it away, Ryan.
So he's taken out... he's first introduced into the movie. He crashes into this Russian guy's car. The Russian guy's sitting in his...
Remember? No, that's the original Hydra agent that at the flashback in 91 that was reading the...
Yeah, I was gonna sprinkle it in. The guy who he crashed into the car of was a Hydra agent, the one commander from 1991 who was in charge of the Winter Soldier. And he crashes into the car trying to, get the guy to talk to him. He gets the guy to open the door, knocks him out cold, and, proceeds to, how do I put this delicately? Torture the shit out of him. He's hanging him upside down in a sink that is slowly filling up with water. and asking him about 1991, the mission report.
You want to see something? I didn't notice this the first time around when you and I went and saw it today. I was watching. I'm like, why doesn't this guy just do just bend up and get his head out of the sink?
Yeah.
He has it zip tied and his arms are bound to the pipe, so he couldn't do that. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. I'm like, why didn't you just
all those crunches finally paid off.
Yeah, or I'm going to start it right now.
And that guy doesn't give him any information. Says Hail Hydra. He turns up the water. The guy drowns. Really quickly, actually. I didn't think people would drown that quick.
Do you remember what Baron Zemo was looking for?
He was looking for the headquarters.
And
like
the dude, he got the book.
What was it?
The mission.
The mission report
from
1991.
That's right.
The opening scene of the movie.
Yeah.
And we will explain that.
It's coming, folks.
But that'll be towards the end.
Yeah.
Because it was at the end of the movie. And then they go from that to I think it was it was the UN meeting to sign the papers for the Accords saying that the Avengers will no longer be a self-governed body.
So who signed? Who signed to be part of it?
Stark. Can the Vision? Well, the Vision was on their team.
Vision was on there. Black Widow.
Black Widow
was the only one that went.
Yeah.
To the actual meeting. Rhodey. Rhodey? War Machine?
Yeah, War Machine.
And who are we missing?
I feel like we are missing someone, but I can't for the life of me figure it out. In case you haven't noticed, though, this is one of the slight differences of the Civil War movie to the comic. Because in the comic, it was all about revealing the secret identities to the public.
Yeah, and mutant registration and government, they didn't get a choice. So you're either on board or you weren't. And some heroes and villains in the comics.
Yeah, we're for and against it.
Yeah.
So that's the slight difference, and I'm okay with it. Because, like you said earlier, if it was exactly like the comic, why would we want to pay money to go to a theater to see it?
Yeah.
And so they're at the UN meeting, and this is where they introduce a new character.
Yes.
Who? He's the other person that was signed. That would have if he had been on the team.
More of a wild card.
Yeah.
I think he was. Yeah.
It seemed like he was interested though. Like he was more on that team than the other team.
Yeah, definitely heading up this meeting was King T'Chaka.
Yeah. They introduced King T'Chaka
from Wakanda.
The current ruler, and they also introduced his son.
His son was accompanying him,
which was really cool.
T'Challa.
My Wakandan's a little rusty.
Gazunite.
Time for Act 2. And they introduced him to. They introduced T'Challa to Black Widow. Black Panther, Black Widow.
Yeah.
They're a little back and forth, and the meeting starts, and the king's talking to his son, the prince, about how T'Challa hates diplomacy, but is really good at it. And as they start the congressional meeting, I'll just call it that. T'Challa. I'm just gonna call him Black Panther. Noticed while standing in the room.
Spoilers.
T'Challa is Black Panther.
Yeah.
He was standing, looking out a window, and he saw that a bunch of cops with some bomb-sniffing dogs started to run the fuck away. And he runs towards his father. Get down! And a bunch of people jump out of the way, and he tackles. But while he's jumping in the air to save his father, a bomb blows up
Yeah.
and destroys the building and kills his father.
Kills a lot of people.
And the supposed criminal that was
The bomber?
the supposed bomber was Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
There was a camera footage that caught him walking away from where the bomb was planted or whatever. And so now there was a manhunt out for him.
Yeah.
And Cap hears about it. He calls, Black Widow. And
Yeah, she's already on the scene.
yeah, she's on the scene. She just got done talking to T'Challa, who's basically like,
out for vengeance.
revenge.
Yeah.
Batman, this is a Marvel movie. Stay out of it.
We'll get to you.
So
Is that the scene after that where they just like flash to Bucharest and then we see Bucky?
Yeah, Bucky's just like at a shop. He's out
Picking
shopping.
plums.
He's like, these are nice plums. Touching them with his robot hand. I was like, how can you tell if those are nice plums? You got a fucking robot hand.
Don't squeeze that in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll pay for that. He buys his plums. He starts walking away, and there's a very weird-looking dude eyeballing him. And he looks away, looks back. The weird-looking dude still eyeballing him. The guy runs out of his paper shop.
Yeah.
His newspaper stand. Winter Soldier comes over, looks at the paper. Oh, there's a picture of me. I'm a wanted man. Runs home.
Apparently, I blew up the. Isn't that a little convenient? Didn't you find it a little convenient how the bomb goes off and within the span of a day, his pictures all across the papers?
Yeah, little suspicious.
Don't spoil it. Who was it? Who bombed? Who really bombed it?
Don't spoil it. Or spoil it.
Spoil it. It's spoilers. We're spoiling everything.
Zemo.
It was Zemo.
It was all part of his master plan.
Yes.
So, Cap goes out and he wants to, get to Bucky before everyone else does because there's a shoot to kill order on him.
Yeah.
So he finds his apartment. They talk it out real quick. The authorities come in, start shooting up the place, breaking everything. They're fighting their way out. Bucky's reluctantly taking help from Cap, but not really taking the help.
Yeah.
So Bucky jumps out of a window, lands on the building across the way where he tossed his backpack in a prior scene. And who shows up?
Well, that turned me into a little girl. Versus Black Panther in all his glory.
Oh, I'm gonna put
the suit.
I'll try and get a good picture to put up. His suit looks so awesome.
And
it was beautiful.
Little known fact, folks, Wakanda is the home of vibranium, the metal that has Cap's shield, Bucky's arm,
Black Panther's claws.
The claw. Yeah, you know what, man? As much as I'd love to see
in the comics, at least, Falcon's wings.
Falcon's wings.
I don't know about.
No, it is. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
I was thinking maybe they give him an upgrade for the next movie
because they as much as I'd love to see him, man. After seeing this, we don't really need Wolverine in the Marvel universe. Dude, we got our own claws now. Dude, Black Panther. Oh,
the only one that can. Black Panther's the only one that can really mess up Wolverine with that vibranium.
And he messed up, dude. He grabbed the shield.
Yeah.
You saw that? Vibranium on vibranium.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing that. Yeah. I got the impression when I saw Black Panther, the fight scenes in this, he fought Winter Soldier. I mean, he goes one-on-one. Nobody, I would say, in this entire cast of Avengers could take Black Panther one-on-one. No way.
Yeah.
Because that's not the impression I got, because he fucking bomb left and right.
Yeah.
Now, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, the little superpowers here while everyone's punching him in the face. Yeah, but they still didn't get the better of him. They just kind of slowed him down.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, you do have to keep in mind that Black Panther isn't entirely a natural being.
Dude, he'd been at it a while.
Yeah.
That suit looked custom fit, so it's not like his first time. But of course, a superhero, gotta have a dead parental figure. But what's his name? Chadwick Boseman, the actor?
Yeah.
Oh, killed it.
Oh,
Killed
yeah.
it.
Awesome. For those of you who don't really know Black Panther very well, the Black Panther is a mantle that goes from warrior to warrior, king to king
Yes.
in the Wakandan tribe. And so I'm assuming that at this point in the movie, he was getting ready to take over as king.
Well, he was being groomed.
Yeah, he was being groomed. So
Because you saw Dad, before he died, he was rocking the ring. I'm like, look at the ring.
So Black Panther, he was born a prince of the Wakandan tribe. He spent most of his life abroad, training. Actually, in the original comics, his father dies, and his uncle takes over as tribesman, as king, and so he goes out, is sent out, going to school in England, and getting the highest education. So he's wicked smart. He's he's like a triathlete and stuff. He's was on the track team and took many martial arts. Got like a PhD. So he's strong, smart.
He's Batman.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's Black Man.
Yeah. Catman. But yeah, dude, oh my god, and I love it too. But this movie did it right. Because I will tell you right now, we didn't need a backstory.
Yeah.
The backstory was summed up in the car.
Yeah.
And he's got a movie coming out next year?
Yeah.
Into this year?
Let's see. I think it's 2017. It's
because at this point, if everybody's this deep into the Marvel
February 2018.
There you go. Cinematic universe. Marvel's like, okay, we're not going to insult you with the backstories. Either you read the comics or you're following along. And they introduced Black Panther in a way where we're watching it with the other characters. Like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
And it summed up a brief backstory in a car ride.
Yeah.
A very short car ride. That's all you needed for now.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was so cool. And
speaking of backstories,
where are we going?
Let's go to Queens.
Queens.
Or lack thereof backstories.
Oh man, my favorite character.
Oh,
Peter Parker.
This is why it's going to go long, folks.
Yeah. you get me talking about Queens and Peter Parker.
Oh my god.
The Spider-Man.
So they're pretty much at this point in this movie, it's getting darker and darker and darker, and sides are being drawn. Everybody's being divided, and like I said before, it plays like the French Connection, like those old movies where they'd go to places and you'd see the name of where they were going, like old gritty letters, across the screen. Mm-hmm. It does it a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
Bucharest, Moscow, Wakanda, and then all of a sudden when I saw Queens, I'm just like, here we go. Here we go.
It was probably the sunniest, brightest place in the entire movie.
Because that's the thing. This movie, it's up and running. We're about, not quite an hour into it? About an hour.
Yeah.
And it is dark. And it is gritty, and it's a crime drama.
And they flip the switch.
You see Queens across the screen. Next half hour, 45 minutes, nothing. This movie is just fun.
Yeah,
fun
and awesome.
It's back up on its feet. The movie was awesome to begin with.
Yeah,
but it's a different kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You're like all happy again, and then here he is, folks, Peter Parker.
Tom Holland's. You, sir, nailed your role.
Hands down, the best Spider-Man I've ever seen.
Yeah. He sounds like he's actually from Queens.
Oh, that's the thing. Reading the comics, all the cartoons I watched the old 60s one. I watched Spider-Man's Amazing Friends. I watched, the Spider-Man in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Ultimate Spider-Man. He always sounded like a Midwestern white kid.
Yeah.
Which, Peter Parker, white. But he's from Queens.
Yeah.
Where's the twang? I spent many of my, my late teen years on the East Coast. Okay, I was out of place. And you can't help but pick up. Every once in a while, you'll hear me talking, that way. the accent. You can't help it if you're there long enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's genius. The little, just tiny little bits of, like I was talking about Redbird, not being a bird, being a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Little tiny nuances.
Yeah.
Give him a Queen's twang, you know?
It was so cool.
Oh.
And he was all stuttery and kind of nervous meeting.
A kid.
Yeah, he was a kid. And he was meeting... Okay. Jumped a little ahead of ourselves there for a sec. All right, so it cuts to the scene, says Queens, shows kid walking in holding a DVD player under his arm, walking into his apartment where him and his aunt live. And he's like, hey, Aunt May, I'm home. Someone threw away a perfectly good DVD player. And he's talking to her, and she's like, PETA? What, Lois? Sorry. I can't do it.
PETA!
PETA!
Oh my god!
She says, Peter, we have company, or something along those lines, and he turns, and it's Tony Stark. Sitting on his couch, talking to his aunt.
Hitting on his aunt.
Yeah.
Oh man, Marissa Tomei, baby.
And he's like, oh my god, you're Tony Stark. He's like, yeah, I'm here to talk about that, and he winks at him, that grant you signed up for. He's like, yeah, that grant. Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty much, what are you doing in my house? In my shitty apartment.
So they go into his bedroom, and he's like, and Robert, I almost called Stark Robert instead of Tony.
Yeah.
Because Robert Downey Jr. has embodied the character so well that he has become Tony Stark. So Tony Stark is talking to Peter, and he knows. He's kind of, he's got his, he has information collectors and stuff like that.
Well, just the blanket thing. You just, you're talking about the Ultron project. He just happened to birth Ultron at the time. But
yeah.
It's still a workable thing where he can constantly monitor enhanced and mutant and, other beings and stuff like that. What's going on. He can always keep a tab on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he just hits him with this footage.
Yeah, some YouTube stuff of, Spider-Man in a ghetto costume.
Yeah, let's,
and he's like, oh, that's not me. And he knocks on a ceiling panel, and Spider-Man costume comes out. And he's like, what? And he's like looking at the costume and how ghetto and trashy it is. And he's like, what are these goggles for? He's like, well, it's ever since the thing that happened to me.
That's what I love about it. Like, he asks, like, he's breaking down the thing because he's the webbing.
Yeah.
He's like, the Teflon strength of this is, who manufactures it?
The tensile strength of this is off the charts. Who manufactures it?
He's like, I did it myself. He's like, all right, the wall crawling thing, what is that? Some sort of stuff in the gloves and everything? He's like, well, and he starts to explain it.
He's like, it's the long
story. He doesn't even care. And he's like, can you see out of these goggles? Like, no backstory. We don't need to see the backstory. We know the backstory. Bit by a radioactive spider, okay? End of story.
Yeah, ever since the accident, he says, like, ever since the accident, it's like all of my senses were cranked up to 11. I'm like, is he old enough to understand that reference?
Exactly. But think about it, though. What, did you pick up on this like I did? Tony sees himself at that age.
Yeah.
It's like a kindred spirit. Kind of like how that look on his face, that Robert Downey Jr. look, like when he first met Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, finally someone who can speak English. He can talk. He sees himself. I think that's another reason why they show that little flashback thing of young Stark. Just kind of, yeah.
Show the connection.
Yeah, it's like another kindred spirit where it's like, okay, I see myself in you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to recruit you. Why do you want to do this? And what a beautiful speech, that was actually, right there.
Without actually doing, like, the quote from...
Why do you do what you do? He's like, well, I was me. I'm just me.
Mm-hmm.
And, on some days I'm glad I'm not me anymore, but at the same time, like, I wanted to play football, but now I don't think I should play football because of he finishes
your powers.
Because of what happened to you. I get that. So what get you out of that twin bed, that crappy little twin bed? He's like, well, I think because of what I am or who I am, it draws trouble. And I just want to look out for the little guy. Mm-hmm. And that's it right there. He's like, okay, you're on the team, dude.
You know, and it's so funny because that speech that he gave, that Peter Parker gave, I was like, this guy needs to be on Team Cap. Because the way he was talking about it kind of seemed more along the lines of what Cap wants to do, instead of having their movements regulated by a governing body, they go where they're needed.
But he's regulating right now. He's a kid. He doesn't know any better. And he's trying to regulate it, or so he thinks. He's like, remember, I wanted to play football, but after what happened to me, I don't think I should play football. Mm-hmm. That's regulation. That's you know what point. I mean? I think that's what sold Tony.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that he's looking at his little self.
You know, the thing about Spider-Man in the Civil War is that he embodies, I guess he kind of embodies both sides.
Yeah. He just doesn't know.
Yeah.
And then the fight scene, like when Spider-Man shows up, it's the best 20-25 minutes ever. Yeah. It's like it's not even his movie, but it turns into a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact, and that's not even talking about they're all there. It's a big battle royal, and you get to see a lot of fight pairing.
Oh, it's so
awesome. Spider-Man, you know,
he stole the show a little bit.
There was a lot of show stealing from a couple different characters. Yeah. Black Panther. I mean, but Spider-Man, he's going around and it's like, oh, what's this? And the talking. You know, like everybody saw the trailer with, under rules, and he takes the web and like, hi everybody, hi, okay. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm just getting used to it. The landing could have been a little bit better. You know, he's talking.
Everyone else is all serious and be like,
they're getting ready to
we're
throw
about to
down.
have a big fight here. Could you shut the hell up?
Hey everybody. Oh, hey Cap, big fan. You know, it's like, he's just, you can tell that whole fight scene was awesome because he's won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And that's Spider-Man, you know? And he's not being rude, he could be annoying depending on how you take it.
Yeah.
But he's just, you can tell he's outmatched, he's overwhelmed, but he's got all these powers, and he's just a kid unsure of himself.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know any better. That's why he just keeps going. And he's got, and then that scene, like, Spider-Man, which, again, I consider myself a writer. I did not see this coming. The Battle of the Bugs.
Yeah.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man and Spider-Man are fighting.
Yeah.
Spider-Man fights the Falcon. Spider-Man fights Winter Soldier.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Remember that?
That was wicked. Winter Soldier goes to punch at Spider-Man and he grabs him and he grabs Winter Soldier's hand like it's made of paper mache.
Winter Soldier's like 3 times the size, too.
Yeah. And he's like, and Spider-Man, dude, you got a metal arm.
That's so cool.
As he's like twisting it.
Yeah, he's twinning Winter Soldier's.
His vibranium arm, twisting it like it's paper mache.
He's totally fanboying out on him. And when he does that little moment where, hey, you guys ever see that old movie, Empire Strikes Back? Oh, wait, I've jumped ahead there real quick. Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Ant-Man. For everything we're talking about Spider-Man, Ant-Man.
He had equal parts in this.
Stole the show. If you guys saw Ant-Man, you know what I'm talking about with the red discs and the blue discs.
Yeah.
Okay? Remember the little tank keychain?
Yeah.
So in the middle of this fight, like Iron Man and War Machine and Vision, they get the better of them. Mm-hmm. Ant-Man comes up to Cap and has this little truck and goes, all right, throw this at this. And it's one of the blue ones, and he throws it, and the truck goes to full size.
And explodes.
And explodes on War Machine.
I thought that was a water truck.
Oh, damn it, I thought it was a water truck. He grabbed a gasoline truck.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, yeah.
I love that guy.
Oh my god, I know we're jumping all over the place, but it's like,
it's hard not to.
Cap, I mean, we didn't even talk about like the which kind of the only thing I thought was fucked up in that movie when Hawkeye showed up.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and like he squared off against Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, we haven't met. I'm Clint. I don't care. Everybody shits. He's kind of turned into the new Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about Hawkeye. You know.
Yeah.
I like Hawkeye, but yeah, it could have been the one thing that's just like, okay, with everything going on, this big battle roll, just flinging arrows, you know? Yeah. Oh.
I loved how each character on like their teams had like specific roles. Like Scarlet Witch, she was kind of like working defense mostly, like, you know, pushing
Falcon air support.
Yeah. She was pushing like stuff out of the way.
Oh, dude,
Falcon
she was
taking
awesome
them
in
from
this
the air.
movie. Yeah.
You know, then you had like Ant-Man doing some like covert stuff.
When he
shrunk down on the arrow.
For as many people saw the trailer for how when Spider-Man shows up and he stole Cap's shield,
yeah,
it was just as awesome how Cap got his shield back.
Yeah, that was
Ant-Man.
That was wicked.
He's like, hey guys, wait a minute, there's something something crawling on me. And he expands, punches Spider-Man in the face. And, hello, Captain America. Glad to be of service. I believe this belongs to you. So, Ant-Man is fanboying out on Cap, just like Spider-Man is.
Spider-Man's fanboying on everybody.
And I was like, wow, I know.
He's whipping all over the place.
You're cool. Oh, I know you too. You're cool. Yeah, I like you too.
You're new. I like the costume.
Yeah. Oh, but Paul Rudd stole it, man. When they're fighting and everything, and all they're trying to do at this point is get one of the Quinjets.
Yeah, and get Cap and Bucky
to
out of there.
Get to that place where Baron Zemo's going to awake the other Winter Soldiers.
Yeah,
which we have not talked about.
I guess we should brush up on that. Right? So they captured Bucky and brought him into Shield. Not Shield.
Hydra.
Hydra? No. When the police captured him with the help of Black Panther.
Oh yeah. That's right. See, again, another. I forgot about that. See, we jumped ahead. Just started talking about Spider. I was so eager to get to Spider-Man. The tunnel scene.
Yeah.
Vengeance took over. See, so we've got so far Crossbones, Zemo, Black Panther.
Yeah.
Black Panther, Vengeance, because in this point in time he thinks Bucky
killed his father.
Yeah, to the point where he reveals his identity right at the get-go after that tunnel scene and gets arrested, along with Cap and Bucky.
Yeah. So they all get arrested. Bucky's placed in like this cell type thingy where he can't really move, and he's being docile. And they send in for a psychological evaluation. And at the same time as the psyche valve was going on, the power plant gets a surprise package. It was an EMP, and it shuts off the electrical grid. And who was the psychologist? Zemo. And he starts reading out of this book the trigger words.
What?
To get some information out of the Winter Soldier. And then has him go on a rampage trying to get the hell out of there. So he gets his info. He's going off to some Siberia. That's where. And now we're gonna get back to the awesome scene we were talking.
That was
about.
that old. That was the flashback of the Hydra station in Siberia.
Yeah,
right?
It was. That was where he was kept for a long time.
So yeah, at this point they're at the airport. Sorry about that. We missed that whole thing. We're jumping all over the place, people. We're so excited. So the big battle's going on, and what they need to do ultimately is get to Siberia and stop Baron Zemo, because what we find out in flashbacks is there's 5 other Winter Soldiers.
Yeah. And they were created through some type of super soldier serum that was inside of the package in the car that the Winter Soldier crashed at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. So...
And you know what I was thinking when I saw that stuff? It was blue, right? And if any of you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for some reason, my brain went straight to that alien blood.
The Kree blood?
Yeah.
Were you thinking you were going to Tahiti? But, oh, fuck.
I was like, why else would they make it blue unless it ties together somehow?
I wonder how many people are listening to this right now. We're jumping all over the place going, I don't know what the fuck these guys are talking about. I don't even need to see the movie. So everybody's trying to get, they're at the airport in Germany now, right?
Yeah.
And the big battle goes on. They get cut off because now the Team Iron Man has been sanctioned by the government to bring these criminals to justice.
Yeah.
Criminals, people, Captain America, Bucky, Ant-Man, Falcon, Hawkeye, yeah,
and
Scarlet
Witch.
Yeah.
And just
so ultimately, I guess they alternate the plan in the middle of the battle.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of losing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more important to get Bucky. All right, give credit where credit's due. It was Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye knows to take one for the team. So
Yeah.
he's like, okay, Bucky and Cap need to get on that plane. You know, for us to win this,
Yeah.
this ain't the fight. This ain't the fight.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a fight to go. We're going to have to lose this one.
Yeah.
But we need a distraction. Oh, and what a distraction they got.
Yeah. Ant-Man comes on into scene saying, all right, I got a plan. Go when I give you the signal. Well, what's the signal going to be? You'll see it. I've only done this once. And it was in a lab, and I passed out right after. It was only for about 8 minutes.
Yeah. And I almost ripped myself in half.
If I rip myself in half, just leave me. Go on without me.
Oh, and you see Ant-Man go to Ant-Man.
Yeah. And it was really cool. There was even like surprise in his eyeballs. Like,
oh, shit, it worked.
It worked. I didn't die. I'm still conscious.
And he started messing shit. I mean, it's like, you didn't really miss Thor the Hulk.
No.
No, you didn't.
Forget about those guys.
Yeah,
I have Ant-Man, I have Spider-Man, and I have Black Panther.
Uh-huh.
Those other two can fuck off.
Well, I don't know if that's a little harsh, Ryan. But, oh, God. Scott Lang, Giant Man.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
It was so cool.
And he started messing stuff up. And, dude, War Machine, I loved it, man. Everything Giant Man would throw at him, War Machine would cut it in half.
Mm-hmm.
It was like almost a standoff there. He's smacking Tony Stark away. Spider-Man crawls up. I love this. So Spider-Man, like, they're all together. Like, even they gave the boot, literally the giant boot to Black Panther. So maybe there is one guy that might take him one-on-one. But I love the reference where it's like, so they all got to get him.
Yeah.
As Cap and Bucky are making the break for the hangar.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man starts webbing up, crawling around, swinging around Giant Man. He goes, hey guys, you ever seen that old movie, Empire Strikes Back? Remember when they were on the snow planet and those big walkie tank things? And who said, Rhodey.
Yeah.
How old is this guy?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, he's childlike. He goes, but I think he might be onto something. And he's webbing as you're watching. It's like everybody's
tying up the legs.
They're so worried. They're focused on Spider-Man and constantly talking.
Mm-hmm.
They don't notice that he's wrapping the web around his legs. He's like, and then Tony Stark notices, like, oh, the kid's onto something. And they all come at him and boom!
Yeah, knock him down. Oh, it was so awesome.
Oh. Yeah, but as he's falling, man, he gives Spider-Man the big involuntary backhand and messes him up.
Oh, and like you actually kind of saw like fear in Stark's eyes when Spider-Man got hit.
Yeah, I told you, he sees himself in Peter Parker in this. And yeah, he's definitely got a spot there. Kind of like before Giant Man, there was a scene, like you said, where right out of the comics, where Hawkeye found a spot on Tony Stark's armor with one arrow. Mm-hmm. Or more specifically, what was on the end of that arrow? Ant-Man. Ant-Man was all over the place.
Yeah. He was big, he was small, he was kicking ass and
oh my god, Spider-Man and Ant-Man, like the bugs were just all over.
The insect and the arachnid stole the show.
Oh my god. where he's inside. He got inside Tony's suit and everything. This is the part. This is one of the scenes right here where Ryan and your laugh rang out through the theater, and I was dying. Your laugh made me laugh harder.
So, Hawkeye shoots the arrow with Ant-Man on the end of it, and he jumps off and lands on Stark's suit and goes inside the suit and starts pulling stuff apart. And Stark tries to like shoot one of his blasters, and his Friday, his computer says there's a malfunction. He's like, "What's the problem?" And, "Oh, well, you gotta take this thing out and get rid of this." And he's, "Whose voice is that?" "Oh, it's just me. You're conscious." We don't really talk very much lately.
God, Scott. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Paul Rudd and Robert Downey Jr. Who's like, who's talking? I loved it.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that scene was really cool. I love the Ant-Man scenes because the way they make it look, him all tiny in there, and like it looks so realistic.
Nothing really changed from his actual movie. I mean, right off the bat, another girl's kicking him in the balls. Talking about a
I know, right? I don't want to hurt you. I don't think that'll be a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have instead of making him giant, install a cup.
I know, right? That's pretty badass though when he shrunk down. Of all the things, man. His tiny lip grabs Black Widow's thumb and puts her arm behind her back, and then
yeah, she shoots him with a taser gun, and
you just hear ding,
leaves a little dent in the side of a truck. So hilarious.
Oh god! All right, so anyway,
the biggest fight scene of the movie, and we're laughing our asses
off.
off.
God, that's what makes this movie so fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it gets dark. It hits all the beats, just like I said. Tells the jokes. I mean, everything works when it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
I loved every character in there. Like I said, it was an ensemble character cast, but everybody got the spotlight.
Yeah.
So Bucky and Cap make it to the jet. Black Panther is right there.
He's right on him.
Right on him, man. Vision's the one who sees him.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, I can't even get through without another funny point. Vision is fighting with Rhodey and Stark against Giant Man.
Yeah.
Sees him. Phases through Giant Man.
Yeah. Oh, something went through my chest.
Something flew into me. And uses his beam, cuts the tower down to block their passage to the Quinjet.
So Scarlet Witch hits it with some psychic power and holds it up for a minute there.
And squeezes that cleavage together. Rhodey comes up, blaster. They barely make it.
Yeah.
Who's waiting for him by the jet?
Black Widow.
Black Widow. She's there waiting for him.
And so there's this moment of
again, like I said, dude, I love the way they did her in this movie. It's like I was watching her for the first time again. I did not know where she stood. She was not predictable at all.
Yeah. She was all over the board.
Harkens back to the first time we saw Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I thought you were just the assistant.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So she's like, "You're not going to stop, are you, Cap?" He's like, "Never. He's my friend." He's like, "I knew you were going to say that. I'm going to regret this." And she goes to tase him.
Yeah.
And turns. Because they don't know Black Panther's behind him.
Right
she tases the shit out of that Black Panther, man. Again, doesn't stop him. Slows him down a little bit. That's it, man. This dude, it gives him a chance to get away.
Yeah, it was a really cool scene. So, I think we are going to leave you hanging here for today.
Because they're off the Quinjet, and the Black Panther, he's got the claws out, and he's reaching there, and the wheels close up, and he doesn't get them, and they fly away.
Yeah. And,
dun, dun, dun.
And we're going to tell you the rest of this riveting story in the next podcast. Because we're running quite a bit long, and, we're running long, and we still have a lot to talk about.
Lots.
And so we'll just wrap it up here for today. It's going to be a bitch to edit.
Fair enough.
I'm going to be using so many different pictures. It'll be fun though. So, as always, thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
And we will talk to you again next week.
Have a day.